segment of the show, the interview session. We have our special guest here to treat us on our topic today. So throughout last month, we've been treating the topic harnessing rural innovation for sustainable development, that is fostering opportunities, enhancing livelihoods, and building a skilled workforce through community-based innovations. But today we are going to sum that up with the topic rural innovation for youth opportunities, insights from the Bring Project. We've been focusing on the Bring Project since last month. And for those who are just joining, the Bring Project, that is bridging the research innovation industry assimilation gap, is implemented by the University of Ghana Business Co-Innovation and Incubation Hub and funded by the UK Development Office through the Riser Fund. And it aims to strengthen capacity of rural small enterprises in Ghana by facilitating the adoption of process enhancement innovations driven from research and technology. So the phase 1 involved training 360 innovators in Kede, Atimpoku, Domahinkro, Tiobodom, Cape Coast, and Takrady, who in turn trained 220 others. Specific community initiatives included establishing maker spaces and cooperatives to support entrepreneurs in developing, certifying, and scaling nutritious and value-added products. The phase 2 focused on connecting rural innovators with investors, enhancing market access, promoting collaboration among stakeholders, and driving sustainable growth. They also extended the project support to Kanshi Group in the Northern region, and they are currently on the third phase of the project. Today's session is exciting because we have people from the UGBS Innovation and Incubation Hub coming to give us more insight about the project. They are going to sum it up for us. So stay tuned because we have exciting news for you. So today our guests are we have Miss Sylvia Nyako. She's the programs lead from the UGBS Nest, and we have Miss Eyuram Boame. She is a senior project assistant from the UGBS Nest. Please, you're welcome to the show this afternoon. All right, that's amazing. So I mentioned, I said a few things about the Bring Project, but then I or my listeners want to hear from you what the Bring Project is about from your own words, like from the headquarters of the project itself.
Okay, thank you very much, Jackie. I think you've said everything about the Bring Project. About like what you said, rightly said, it was basically taking university research and innovation to local communities, because as an academic institution, we usually get this criticism, if I must say, that we conduct research and we just don't do anything with it. So through the Riser Fund, we wanted to also extend our knowledge and research and innovation that can be impactful or that can be useful to the local communities as well. So that is where it all started. So it's just from the shelf to the local communities. Thank you.
Okay, amazing. So with the communities, what product or innovation was introduced to these communities?
Okay, so I think for Cape Coast, it was more of fruit processing. And the issue we looked to address, or we were addressing, was the issue where the fruit juices, their juices go into fermentation or not able to stay longer on the shelf life because they use raw juice. And so we introduced the innovation of pasteurization, which is a little bit of temperature and heating so that it can stay a bit longer. In Domahinkro, it was egg. We all know Doma is the hub for egg production, but they had issue with post-harvest losses where there can be too much egg or too little egg, and this scarcity and all that. So we also introduced or taught the entrepreneurs, specifically Doma Poultry Farmers Association, on how to process their egg into egg powder, which is just like the egg that we eat. You just have to add a bit of water and you get your egg back. At Tiobodom, in the Tiobodom enclave, Techimana enclave, we introduced the tomato processing or tomato paste, organic tomato paste, no preservative. In Takrady was dairy, where we taught single mothers and the youth in Takrady in how they can process milk into raw yogurt, organic raw yogurt. Kd2 was to help improve their quality of oil so that they don't have to necessarily add Sudan 4, which was a big issue some years back because they wanted to maintain the redness of the oil. But all that was the problem was that there was too much moisture in the oil. So we show them how to reduce the moisture content in the oil through the processes or how they cook their oil, and at least bring it up to a certain temperature or to a boiling or cooking time for them to maintain. And I think at Atimpoku, it has to do with the fish preservation, where we introduced a dry ice innovation. But along the project, we had to revisit our book and go back to the table and come up with a way of training that's going to be beneficial to them, because we realized that the dry ice, even though it was useful and was quite adopted or accepted by the people, it became a bit expensive to them. So we have to go back to the drawing table and now help them to improve their product branding and market so that they can also expand their market. So very soon you will see Timpoku Fish Processors product on the market, nicely packaged, just like the one that you can buy on the mall. So from dry fish to fresh fish tilapia to abolo, that's one of my favorite food as well. So we can get some package in Accra. And the last community is in Jana. Now, Jana too, we're looking to help them process their cereals, maize, sorghum, and everything to improve malnutrition in the Northern Enclave. So very soon, you see all these products as cereal, like I usually say local cereal, like I'm not doing the advert, but basically these are the products that we just introduced to them. And like you rightly said, that was the second phase. The next phase is handled by ARAM. So I think those questions you've sent, you've put to her for it to give you.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Okay, that's amazing. So in the implementation of the projects, what were the challenges? That is translating university research to rural innovators. What were some challenges you faced through the implementation of? Oh, anyone can take the
okay.
answer.
Aaron, you can go ahead.
Okay, so I think one challenge I observed on the field recently was the fact that even though we had sensed the innovations, some of the beneficiaries were still struggling to accept it totally. For one reason, for example, Doma, because they didn't get the equipment that they wanted in their community, they were a bit not too happy with, the fact that they didn't get it, and so the egg powder was not going to be realized. But they failed to understand the bigger picture of things, and so that's one thing that's one gap that I would say I identified on the field, such that even though ultimately they didn't get the equipment that they wanted, they still could not see the bigger picture of what we had taught them on, right? So the fact that there could be possibility of an investor coming, or a private person, or even government seeing their potential and coming to invest in the long term, they felt like they needed solutions now. And so I think that's one challenge, trying to get these innovators to the point where they see things from our perspective. So I think that's one thing I would say was a challenge, or is a challenge currently.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So as there are challenges, I think there are wins as well, and there are moments of success. If you could share some impact stories or the time you succeeded in the implementation.
Okay, so I think generally the whole project is an impact story, from what I've seen. Seeing that there is inclusive innovation in the past, it felt like everything innovation was centralized to Accra or the big cities, if I should put it that way. But maybe I would say mainly Accra. But we failed to bring on board the people who are also in the places that people don't normally go. So a community like Kede or say Atimpoku, where people are also doing business, but we seem to see business in the light of, okay, if the person is in Accra doing some big stuff, then they are doing some innovative things. So I think that alone is something big, where we are, as part of the project, helping the under deserved groups, so the women and the youth. So, and then people with disabilities. We've had a few of those in our trainings and in our engagements with the communities. And so I would say that even as we trained the people or the women, for example, they also were able to train other people who are also women. And so these were all sources of income that they could get. In Takrady, for example, recently when I went to the field, one woman was telling me about the fact that as she learned how to do the yogurt, I mean, previously she wasn't doing that. She wasn't doing the yogurt. And so we introducing that aspect kind of like opened up a new source of income for her. And so now she can do the yogurt herself, and she has even trained other people to also do the yogurt in church and all of that. So I think that the bigger picture of the project is an impact, and then the individual stories of women training other women is also another thing. And I think they treasure the things that we've taught them on a large scale. Yeah.
Okay. That's an amazing one. So I think in the phase 2, I mentioned that there was access to markets. How did the project facilitate that? How does the project facilitate access to markets for these rural innovators?
Okay, so what we did was to make sure that these innovations from these rural communities find themselves on the shelf in the bigger communities or bigger cities like Accra or Kumasi, or even within their community or their region. Yeah. So we sort of brought on board student consultants mostly from the business school of the University of Ghana, for them to help and support these women on what it means to place your product on the market. So during the vacation, they went to these regions or these communities to have one-on-one engagement with these women, took them through the product branding, marketing and pricing as well, and they sort of being the champions of the products from these women. So at the end of the day, they were able to link some potential clients or some clients to these women to also expand their market. So for instance, if you go to Takrady, you see some shops that have the portside yogurts, fresh yogurt from these women. Okay. So we did the same thing across the other communities. So yeah, but on the other side, we're also talking to private investors who, but maybe I can mention their name, Trolley Markets, who is happy and ready to take up these products from the rural communities and also put on shelf in Melcom and ShopRite as well, because that's what they do. They're more like distributors in the bigger cities, so that the product doesn't only stay in the rural communities, because one thing the project is doing is to give them visibility and exposure and the confidence that your product is also good to compete with the ones that we find in Accra or Kumasi. But I just want to comment on some of the successes or the impact that Aramde spoke about. Yeah. And I mean, I was just reflecting on it. And for me, is all what I would say is just the fact that the project was able to break down what innovation means to the local level for the people to appreciate that. Yeah. When we talk about innovation, it's not just about the bigger equipment or the Silicon Valley kind of. In the agri-food innovation, whatever you add to it, it can be an innovation that can help you address or come up with a product. And they are doing so well. Quite often, innovation seems like a big term and it's only for the bougie community or for the formal people. But this project actually build the capacity and empower these rural innovators in the rural communities, for them also to have the confidence to innovate and confident in their product, and even have the opportunity to showcase their product as well. So on this coming Saturday and Sunday, these products from the community that we've mentioned, they're going to be part of the This is Ghana. This is Ghana exhibition. So they are also coming from wherever they are to Accra to also showcase their product to Ghana. So for me, the whole understanding and appreciation of what innovation is by these women, it's a big plus, and I'm really excited about it. And the fact that usually development projects, you just go and do, and then that's the end of it. But for them to uptake it wholly, in Tiobodom, for instance, we had the whole traditional authority, with the chief and the queen mother, taking it up as a community project. So it's the stakeholders who have actually accepted the project, and even the project is going to end. We are very sure that it's going to go far because the communities have now taken it upon themselves, and they are scaling and impacting more. So yeah, thanks.
Yeah, that's a lot of impact the project is making. So we're going to go to the phase 3, and Ms. Aram is going to answer that for us. So what is the focus of the phase 3? What are the objectives of the phase 3 of the project?
So in summary, I would say that so we've done phase 1, where we trained and built the capacity of the innovators or the beneficiaries. Phase 2, we went back to teach them on product certification, market access, and the like. Phase 3, we want to make sure that the project is sustained. And so we want to now look at how can we align what we are doing to government policies. And so we've already had an engagement, our first engagement with some government bodies, where we brought them on board, or we allow them to appreciate what the project has gone through and where we are hoping to go, even after the project ends. So that's one, aligning the project with the policy and what is going on in government. Another side is the Rural Innovation Network Ghana, which is a network that was formed in phase 2 to help drive the message of inclusive innovation. And so we are looking at the entire innovation ecosystem. How can we all come together? So be it a private body, academia, government, media representatives, and the like, and even youth. I mean, any group or any individual who is interested in inclusive innovation or the entire subject of innovation. How can we all come together and still champion and drive what has already been started in these communities? And this is more like what we've done is more like a case for things that can happen in communities like this. And so that is another side to phase 3, where we are bringing together all these individuals and institutions to form a network, which we've already formed anyway. And we've had some engagement, we've had workshops, and we are currently looking at a legal framework so that we can run with it and make sure that that network is also sustained. So that's another side. I think another side I would mention is we've done all this phase 1, phase 2, we are even in phase 3, but we want to tell more stories because we believe that there are lots of stories that have come out of this project. We started, I think it's been 3 years now since we started the project. And so how can we document what we've done, the learnings, and any stories that have come out? So that's another side that we want to focus on, or that we are focusing on in this phase of the project. A last one, there are lots, but the last one I would say is the aspect of bioinnovation, where we are looking at how can what we've started in these communities, how can we link it to bioinnovation, where the waste products and all of that are turned into something that is environmentally friendly, in summary. So can we liaise with the students of our institutions to come up with ideas in the bioinnovation space? So currently we're working with WAGBIB. It's a long name, but I think I'll just keep it at WAGBIB so that I don't miss anything. But I think it's the West African Bioinnovation something, but I'll confirm that. But they are an institution or a center in the University of Ghana that focuses on bioinnovation. We are working with them to come up with ideas that can be piloted in these communities and other communities like them. So I think basically this is what Phase 3 seeks to do, and we want to make sure that what we've started is continued even after the funder checks out.
Okay, that is exciting. We are looking forward to hear about the achievements of the Phase 3 of the project. And I'm excited you mentioned students. And when Mrs. Sylvia spoke, she mentioned students, consultants, like you sent them to the communities to advertise the products and all. And you also mentioned the students in the bio. So on our show, we mostly look for opportunities available for the youth. And mentioning the students is something important and we've taken note of. So I want to ask, what opportunities are there available for young people interested in getting involved in rural innovation through initiatives like the Brink? What opportunities?
Okay, so I think I've already spoken about the main thing that is happening now, which is where we are trying to get students to think in the bioinnovation space, so come up with ideas. Okay, so for example, in maybe Sylvia will correct me if I'm wrong, in Tiobodom, where they are doing the palm oil, the waste that comes out after all the entire process, that's the bioinnovation side of it. So how can we, or how can the students come up with something that can make use of what is coming out, the waste coming out, right? In Cape Coast like this, after they've blended the pineapples and the fruits and all of that, the chaff, I hear there's a use for it. What idea can they come up with that can turn into something big? And so these are ways that students can also think, from what has happened in the project, what other ideas can we look at so that we can also protect our environment whilst helping these communities, even as they are going about their activities with the egg, with the palm oil, with the fruit processing and all of that. We are looking also at our environment, and so how can we also look for ways to champion that side? So that's one way that the students can come on board. If you have any idea around this space, you can reach out to us and then we would take it from there.
Yeah, so if you have any idea, you're listening, you have any idea around this project, you want to go to the UGBS Nest social media pages. They're on Instagram, they're on LinkedIn, they're on X, they're on Facebook as UGBS Nest, N-E-S-T. So you want to go to their pages. So on our show, we ask for your last advice for young people. What do you have to say? What would help them to acquire some skills, to be set up for opportunities like employabilities? What are your last words of advice for the young people listening to us?
Okay.
I think I'll take from both of you. So your final words,
Maybe I would speak to those who are in this these communities. Sometimes the notion is that they're in the little community or the small communities, and so it seems like there's nothing there, but there's so much opportunity there. This palm oil, these eggs and things, you can start with these things. If you're helping your parents in their little corner, these are all ways by which you can turn something small into something big. And so don't limit yourself as a young person in a community, the community you find yourself in, especially like in a rural community, as we say. Think big, think wide, and take advantage of the opportunities that are around. I think nowadays there's a lot of talk about agric, and so don't limit yourself. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I would just say that as young people or the youth of Ghana, it's time we start thinking local but come up with global solutions, because there's so many things around us that with the skills and the training that you've acquired from the university, or even if not university, in your locality, when you look around, what are some of the things that you can come up with solutions for? Because the whole Riser project, actually, some innovations were student research. Doma, for instance, this whole idea of egg powder processing is a student who sat down to identify the problem in Doma and wanting to solve it. And we are the future. We are the next generation. And innovation is the new wave. It's better we innovate to address our problem locally whilst we integrate the global experiences as well, because nobody's going to work for us. Nobody's going to change anything for us. I always say that the government job is choked. Now there's so much thing of entrepreneurship. We can come out with something that we can become our own bosses as well. So we just have to think local and come up with global solutions. That's why I leave it there. And don't think innovation is the big thing. Just close your eyes, just look around and see a problem and start thinking about the solution. You have a business idea and you are good. You are sorted for the next. Thank you.
Thank you too. What I took was, don't limit yourself to your community. Think big and think local and come up with global solutions. It has been an amazing session, and want to say a big thank you to Ms. Sylvia Nyako and Ms. Ayiram Boame for a lot of insights. I hope you've taken note of these opportunities and you're going to check out their pages for these opportunities. Thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so this has been the Next Gen Connect show on Z101.9 FM, and I've been your host, Jacqueline Ikea Oferiwa Aye. I'll meet you same time next week. It's a wrap.
You're tuned in to Z 101.9 FM, your lifestyle, leisure, and business radio.
Dream home. No interest for 2 years. Are you ready to step into your dream home? With Lakeside Estate's exclusive offer, you can own your own home in just 2 years with no interest repayment. This offers you affordable payments, flexible home purchase plan, quality homes, and lifestyle choice. Choose from a variety of beautiful homes in any of Lakeside Hills clusters. Your future awaits you. Imagine living in a home you love with the freedom to invest in your dreams without the burden of interest. As your CIMG Real Estate Company of the Year for the 4th time, we offer you hassle-free home acquisition. Call us today on 020-477-5040 or 020-141-8622. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity. Call us now to learn more and schedule a tour for our available homes. T&C Supply. Make your dream a reality. Lakeside Estate. Quality homes for all.
Are you an entrepreneur, a CEO, a C-suite executive, or a game changer shaping industries? Ready to share big ideas, connect, and uncover new opportunities? Then get set for the 2nd edition of the CEO's Breakfast and Networking Meeting, themed The Rise of the Conscious Leader, Power, Profit, and Principles. Highlights include raffles and irresistible prizes, complimentary books from speakers, exclusive networking with CEOs and industry leaders, interactive sessions on business growth and ethical leadership, plus a full breakfast and buffet lunch. Date, Thursday, 2nd October 2025, inside La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, Accra. Time, 7 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Space is limited. Register today and lock in your early bird discount before 22nd September 2025 at ceonetworkingevent.com. Don't just attend an event, be part of a movement redefining leadership for a new era.
You're tuned in to Z 101.9 FM, your lifestyle, leisure, and business radio.
Yo, what's up? You're listening to ZFM. Afrobeat bad man there, so yeah, Kelvin boy. Another.
It's your lifestyle, leisure, and business radio.
Hi guys, it's your girl Lady X Lola, and you are listening to Highway 1019.
It's Cassie.
show me real love. Probably see me so man in your fair. And I go put you on my payroll.